is Just So You Know Moments with a Twist. Your host, Dr. Jackson Dean, the Pen Slayer. You ready? Let's go. Just so you know. Moments with a twist. Oh, talk show host, speaker, life and success strategist, author. Oh yeah. I inspire, empower, and coach others to be the best version of themselves. Just so you know, moments with a twist. Are you ready?
Just So You Know Moment is brought to you by Dr. LaShonda Jackson Dean, Jackson Dean Investments, and JDI Multimedia Network. Just so you know, Dr. Jackson Dean, the TV talk show queen, the Pen Slayer, and multiple national and international best-selling author says, I inspire, empower, and coach others to be the best version of themselves. Welcome to Just So You Know Moment with a twist. I'm your host, Dr. LaShonda Jackson Dean. Welcome. Tonight's episode is going to be amazing. We have the most wonderful Mr. Undra House here with Thailand's best healing and weight loss incorporation, here tonight to speak with us about his company. So, first of all, like I always do, I have to start off by saying, thank you, God. Although it doesn't look like he's there, he's always there. And I am so thankful that he is still in the healing and the blessed business. Thank you. So, everybody, help me welcome Mr. Undra House. Hello, Undra. How are you?
Hello, Sister Jackson Dean. It is a pleasure to be on your show.
You are so welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here. It's so good to see you. Hey, y'all, did I mention that he's my brother?
Yes.
This is my brother, Undra House. And so he's here to talk about his business. So, Mr. Undra, introduce yourself to the world.
Yes, my name is Undra House, and Dr. Jackson Dean is my sister. I am so proud of her. I have been living in Morehead City, North Carolina for 35 years. I came to the Carolinas to visit for a couple weeks. Fell in love with the place, and I have been here for 35 years.
Wow.
I've been in the gospel music business for 21 years. I have recorded 12 albums in 21 years. I have had several good songs, and I just enjoy the music business.
So you are a gospel rapper.
Yes. I've been rapping for 21 years.
How does that go? Explain to us exactly how does the gospel rapping business go?
You know, if you would have told me that I was going to actually make a living in this business when I first got started, I never would have believed it, because I had no desire to be in the music business. But the very things that we don't desire to do is the very things that God will lead us to do. Just like Moses. Moses did not want to go down and visit Pharaoh, because he had a speech problems, and so Moses tried to get out of his duties many times, and I tried to get out of my duties many times. So I never had a desire to be a musician, but I was given an overnight gift.
Oh, wow.
And this gift made room for me for 21 years. Scripture tells us that a man's gifts will make room for him.
That's what the word says.
Yeah. And so my musical gift made room for me. It made a living for me for 20 years. And so that's how the music business has been to me.
That's wonderful. We may have to get you to give us a line or two before the night is over with.
Okay. Okay.
So, Andre, tell us about your business. Tell us about where it originated from. Your Thailand's best healing and weight loss. How did that originate?
It originated because I was living on the road profusely for 10 years. And when I say living and traveling profusely, I was living on the road, state to state, fast food restaurant to fast food restaurant, city to city. And I looked up one day and I had a full house. And when I say a full house, let me show you my full house. I had a spot of cancer on my left lung. I had diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, acid reflux, lower back problems, sciatic nerve problems, hair loss. I was 70 pounds overweight. And the last thing was arthritis.
Oh,
And that's
wow.
called a full house. And had I turned to the traditional meds like people normally do, I probably would be a vegetable right now. You know, that spot of cancer, Dr. Jackson Dean, it felt like a rat or something was on the inside of my chest, eating me from the inside.
Wow.
Yes, it felt bad. The arthritis that was in my right elbow, it hurted so bad that when I drove, I had to grab the headrest to the other seat and just hold the headrest while I traveled, because as long as that arm was up in the air like that, it was fine. But the moment that I dropped it down, there was so much pain running through my elbow. I'm embarrassed about what I'm fixing to say, but this is a true story. I turned to the Lord one day and said, Lord, if I got to continue to deal with this pain that's in this elbow, I would rather you take this arm off my body,
Oh,
because I
wow.
can't deal with the pain. That's how much pain I was in. And so, like I said, had I traditionally turned to things that people normally turn to, I probably would be a vegetable right now, but I didn't do that. I turned to the Lord and asked the Lord for answers, and He gave me answers. And so that's how my healing journey began.
So when you say traditional medication, I know people are wondering. So you're speaking of, as far as for cancer, there would be like the chemotherapy. For the arthritis, there would be inflammation medications, and for the cholesterol, there'd be some type of statins or something that you would take in order to control it, not necessarily cure it, because what we've noticed, what we've found out, what we've discovered, that none of the traditional medications that we take ever cure what we have, or what we're suffering from. It normally abates it and subsides the pain. But you continue to have the issues because you have to continue taking the medication. And you continue to take the medication because Big Pharma has placed this in here so that we are pretty much slaves to the pharmaceuticals. We have to continue taking medication. So I completely understand when you say you don't want to take traditional medication, because I don't like taking traditional medications either. I'd rather sit through a headache before I take medication. I do not like taking medication at all. So I completely understand. So I guess that's what one thing we have in common, huh?
Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
so tell us about your how it birthed into what you're doing.
Yes, like I said, I turned to the Lord. I asked the Lord for answers, and He gave me answers. He blessed me with a mentor that taught me herbology. And when this mentor taught me herbology, he showed me what herbology was. And then on top of that, Dr. Jackson Dean, he was a man that showed me how the things that I'm doing is God's plan.
Hmm.
And when I say it's God's plan, from Genesis to Revelation, Scripture speaks over and over and over again about the importance of taking herbs. And so this mentor, he just educated me. And when he educated me, he opened my eyes. And when he opened my eyes, I can't look at healing the same anymore. I have a total different outlook about healing than I had before I was educated. I've been educated. I look at everything totally different, Dr. Jackson.
That's the beauty of education. Because once where our eyes were closed, once we receive that education, our eyes can never close up again. We can't
Exactly.
unsee what we've learned. And whether it doesn't remain in the forefront of our mind, it's always there. And we're able to pull it and retrieve it later on if needed. And so it's one of those eyes wide open when it comes to education, because you can't go back. You can't revert back to the life that you had once you have been educated on the subject. Once you become educated on any subject, you no longer can look at that subject the same way you did prior to being educated. So I completely understand that.
Yes, most definitely. And that's where I'm at right now, Dr. Jackson Dean. That's where I'm at. I can never look at healing the same now that I know what I know.
So tell us more about your herbs, the impact that it had on your life and or your different ailments, the different herbs that you took in order to alleviate or cure. Because I'm not even sure. You want to tell us whether you are in the part of alleviation or are you cured?
For 13 years, I have been walking free of all ailments that were plaguing my body. And again, look at some of the ailments that were plaguing my body: cancer, diabetes, high cholesterol, acid reflux, lower back problems, sciatica, hair loss, arthritis,
Mm-hmm.
and lower back problems.
Yeah.
All of those things were plaguing my body. I have been free from all of those things for
Oh, that's
13 years.
wonderful.
I don't take a medication for nothing. I don't take a blood pressure pill, a cholesterol pill. My health is great. You can follow me down to the physician and you will be impressed with my numbers. Blood pressure will have a reading of like 117/78 with a heart rate of like 79, things of that nature. Cholesterol is perfect. Blood sugar is perfect. Everything is perfect.
We have the same blood pressure. That's what my blood pressure is all the time.
Wow.
117 over 78.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
How funny is that?
That is awesome. That is awesome. And then the thing about it, we don't need no bill.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Nope, not at all.
Not at all.
So tell us about the different herbs. Educate us on the herbs.
In the healing business, and I gotta call it the healing business, herbology is the use of plants for medicine. There are over 10,000 plants in the healing business. And with me being an herbalist, I need to know something about all 10,000 plants. But I mainly focus on the plants that are very relevant. The plants that are irrelevant, I don't focus a lot of attention on those. And like I say, the herbology is the study of plants for medicine. Dr. Jackson Dean, man wants to call herbals an alternative medicine,
Mm-hmm.
but scripture calls herbs the real medicines. And so let the truth be known, the herbs was here before the man-made medicines. So man has no right calling herbs alternative medicines because
Absolutely.
they are the original medicines. And
And
so
that's exactly what they call it, alternative medications and alternative practices and things like that. Yeah, you're absolutely right on that. Um, I love that what you're speaking about in regards to the plants, going back to our original roots, because when you think about it, our great great grandparents and probably some of our grandparents and going back even further, they didn't have any traditional medication. They had to go and get the salt of the earth. They had to get the plants and all of their medication, everything that they were going to get from the earth and make it. I've seen the bowls with the herb presser where they take the different roots and the plants and they take it and then they beat it in and beat it down to a powder form where it's more palatable for them to take and easier for them to take. And so all of this is roots. This is roots. This is a historic thing. This is where we came from. This is how our people thrived and survived. And it's still good today.
It
And
is.
you prove that. You prove that by using it for yourself, healing your body up. I mean, cancer is a big deal. And to think you had cancer and you were able to use your herbs, just think about all of the different people that are suffering with cancer challenges and all different type of leukemias and blood conditions. If they can move to the herbals and the herbs opposed to the traditional medication that in some ways introduces more poison to their body, think about how much healthier we all would be.
Wow, that's deep what you just said, Dr. Jackson. What is deep? But it is so true. It is
Yeah.
so true what you just said. You know, I didn't realize that you were so educated in this field, ma'am. I guess you know a little something about everything, don't you? But that is so true what you
I
just said.
love to read. I love to read. I love to study different things. And because I'm one of those people who don't like to take medication, I have to look for quote unquote alternative medications. And, of course, I've taken your medication and I have felt better, but I don't have any issues. I do believe that if something does happen, I'll be more apt to take more natural medications or herbs, whichever one you want to describe them as, opposed to traditional medication. Because I'm just not one of those people that like to take medication.
That is awesome.
So, Andre, with all the different herbs that are out there, people talk about different types. I've heard about some myself. Um, I'm just a little savvy in it. Of course, I'm not as savvy and educated in it as you are. Tell us about one of your prized herbs that you love to use.
I'm going to say internal body cleansers. And the reason that I love the internal body cleansers so much, during this pandemic that we've experienced, a lot of people have died
Yeah.
during this pandemic. And one of the reasons so many people were not prepared for this pandemic was a lot of people's immune system was weak.
Yeah. Yes.
And I specifically like the internal body cleanser because the immune system is in three parts of the body. The immune system is in the small intestines, 70%. It's in the skin, 10%. It's in the lungs, 20%. So when you spread the immune system out in those three parts, 70% being small intestines, 20% being lungs, 10% being skin, there's your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
So as you see, the most important herb that we can really put in our body, when you cleanse the gut, you strengthen the immune system.
That's true. I understand that. I've heard different commercials and sites that talk about cleaning your gut and getting all the toxins out of your gut and ensure also with that ensuring that you drink water to help push everything out completely out of your gut. And so you make a valid point there where everything's starting within your gut as far as any ailments and disease. If we can get that gut cleared out, we can make a lot of changes within our health. So
Yes.
tell us about these greens.
Yes, the greens is the closest thing this earth has ever seen to manna from heaven. I'm I'm a man of the word, Dr. Jackson Dean, and manna from heaven was a product that God gave the children of Israel when they was wandering in the wilderness for 40 years. He would deliver manna from heaven from them every day, and they were to eat whatever they wanted to eat, and what they didn't eat, they was just supposed to leave it on the ground. Well, this earth has never seen anything quite like manna from heaven, but we have a herb called healing grain. It's got the ability to sustain the whole body, meaning that it's got the ability to give you something from all four food groups. There's something from the meat group, bread and cereal, the milk group, the fruit and vegetable group. And so with that being said, when you put the healing greens in your body, I've seen these healing greens take people with Alzheimer's and bring their memory back. The healing greens, they increase oxygen to the brain. Alzheimer's, for instance. Alzheimer's is it's a memory disease, let the truth be known. It means that a person's brain is deteriorating at a rapid rate. Greens has the ability to go into the body, increase oxygen to the brain, and when you increase oxygen to the brain, it's very possible to take a person that's dealing with Alzheimer's and help them to restore their mind, because the mind is really needing oxygen.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. It's one thing we think about when we see people who have strokes, heart attacks, or been in an accident, or maybe in a drowning accident. They wonder about how much time that there was oxygen away from the brain.
True.
Because when your brain lacks that oxygen, it really just has an impact on your entire body.
It does.
And so they want to ensure that they keep that oxygen going to the brain. So I understand what you're saying in regards to the brain needing the oxygen. Same thing with those greens, they're providing the oxygen for the brain, right?
It is. And that's why the greens are my favorite herb. They are life changers.
Tell us about I guess the methodology in regards to how you take these herbs. Because, it's a possibility people are taking herbs, but are they taking them correctly?
That's so true. A lot of people, they take a lot of herbs, and when they don't take them right, they have no effect at all. That's where we herbalists come in, to help people to take them the right way. Because, like you said, there's science behind taking them, but it's science. The right herb needs to be in the body at the right time. For instance, a fat burner needs to be in the body during your active hours. It definitely does not need to be in the body in the evening hours, because a fat burner could give you so much energy it could keep you up all night. So you are so accurate when you said there's a method to the madness. we herbalists, the beautiful thing about us, we can help people with that method. To take those herbs at the right time. I see you know a whole lot about herbology. I'm so impressed. My goodness. You are awesome.
And you're awesome too.
Yeah.
So we got people out there that want to lose weight. Me, I'm always trying to lose some type of weight. So they're always talk about these fat burners. You want to burn the fat. So tell us about your herbs or what you offer in regards to fat burners.
The first thing I want to share with you, Dr. Jackson Dean, when a person is dealing with a weight issue, there are two things that's wrong. The first thing that's wrong is normally a person would have an underactive digestive system. Let me share with you what I'm talking about. Our digestive system should produce 2 to 3 bowel movements per day every day. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people only have maybe one or a bowel movement every other day. Mm-hmm. So many times when a person is dealing with a weight issue, they have an underactive digestive system. The second thing that's wrong when a person is overweight or needs to lose some weight, that person 9 times out of 10 has too many fat cells in the bloodstream. So with that being said, you can take a skinny man's blood, pull it out of his body through a system like dialysis, and put that blood in a heavy man. That heavy man will lose weight. I am not joking. So what it all boils to is life is in the blood, and blood is the life of the flesh. So with that being said, that's why I have told so many people have went out and got these gastric bypass surgeries. They lose 100 pounds. Next time you see them, they've got that 100 pounds back plus 20. The reason being, they got the same blood before the surgery that they had after the surgery. The blood didn't change. And so when the blood didn't change, the weight came back on the body real quick. So you have got to strategically burn fat cells. When you burn fat cells the right way, that weight is not quick to come back on the body. I dropped my 70 pounds, and I have managed to keep my 70 pounds off for about 15 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes, I recently got on the scale, and my goal 15 years ago was 255 pounds. I am within 10 pounds of my ideal weight that I want to be at. 255 is my ideal weight because all of my clothes fit 255. I'm actually at 265. I'm just 10 pounds off my ideal weight. And I know that I can pull those 10 pounds off like that just by drinking tea for a few days, and that 10 pounds will be gone. Well, the more of that story, when you put the right teas in your body, Dr. Jackson Dean, you're in the driver's seat to go wherever you want to. We have a young lady in Helena, Arkansas. She dropped 204 pounds on our herbs. We have a lady in Little Rock, Arkansas. She dropped 187 pounds on our herbs. My pastor dropped 140 pounds. I lost 70. My mom has lost about 60. And we have a thing called the 100-Pound Club.
So let's wave goodbye to everybody and have everybody have a good night. And we'll see you next time on Just So You Know Moment with a Twist. I'm your host, Dr. LaShonda Jackson Dean. To learn more about Dr. LaShonda Jackson Dean and the books and the services that I offer, visit me online at www.drlashondajacksondean.com. Have a good night.
All right. Have a good night.
This is Just So You Know Moments with a Twist. Your host, Dr. Jackson Dean, the Pen Slayer. You ready? Let's go. Just so